This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Slushy Boys, a GleeWatch podcast. My name's Nathan.
My name's Lawrence.
And we're the boys, and let's meet the slushies. Lawrence, what are you drinking this week?
Nathan, I've got a lovely can of Coke Zero.
Ooh, delicious. I have also got I don't have a can. I've got a bottle of Coke Zero lemon flavoured, I will say. But I've poured that into my big chugger cup here. So that is my slushie of choice for this week.
Just pouring it into a big old cup just makes it more authentic of a slushie, to be honest.
Exactly. It's like I'm in the show, Lawrence.
Wow.
It's like I'm in the show that we know and love. How the fucking hell are you?
I'm good today. I saw Coke Lemon at the shop I was in today, and I was tempted to buy some, and then I forgot. So, to be honest, I'm a bit gutted now.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that issue.
You can't.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you forgot? So you saw it there, okay, and then what? You just instantly forgot that you saw it there?
No. So I walked into the shop, right, and I see it, right, because I know it's got the yellow top because you've showed me a few times, right. I see it in the distance. I go, when I get round to that aisle, I'll add that to the trolley. Just forgot.
Yeah.
You.
Okay. Well, you should not trust your memory to do anything, okay?
I got everything else on my list. I was quite impressed with myself, but no, just not the Coke, because it wasn't on the list. That's why I didn't get it.
Yeah, did you have an actual written list?
I always do. Shopping lists.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
So you're not doing all this off the top of your head. This is what I'm saying, okay? You can't trust your memory, and you clearly know that, which is why you have the list.
Everyone has a list. That's not just me.
Not me. I don't have a list.
What, you're raw dogging the shops when you go there?
Yeah, pure vibes, mate.
Damn, okay,
Pure vibes, just going in, seeing what I fancy.
Oh my God, only to live like you.
It's detrimental.
But at least you've got your Coke Lemon.
It's not good. Sometimes I have the shopping and eating habits of a 10-year-old boy who's been left alone for the weekend.
You've been given a tenner by your nan.
Yeah, and I'm getting all my favourite snacks and everything, and no one can stop me. You know?
It's like in Home Alone when he gets to order whatever he wants and do whatever he wants in the house, and then very quickly is like, I'm depressed. This sucks.
Exactly. Yeah. That happens, let me tell you. Anyway, enough about that nonsense. We are here. We're back once again. We're all the way up to Season 3, Episode 10 of this GleeWatch journey. This is, of course, the episode Yes, No, which debuted on the 17th of January 2012, all those years ago. Do you remember where you were?
Yeah, man. I was, God, how old was I? I was born in 1997. Do some maths for me quickly.
You was 15. No, yeah, well, you would have been turning 15 like about a month after this episode aired, so you'd have been 14.
Okay, so it's safe to say I was cool. I was doing drama. I was probably wanting to be one of these guys. So that was probably my life. What about you?
2012, I was
38.
I was in college. Fuck off.
You're always 38 in my jokes. One day you're going to be 38 and it won't be funny.
I'm not 38 now. Okay. I was in college. I was 18, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't 18. I was... Wait, when did I turn 18?
I don't know. When did you turn 18?
No, I would have been 18. I would have been older than 18.
1994, are you?
93?
93. Oh, yeah. Come
okay.
On. Yeah.
No, it's wrong. It's the wrong year. Don't be like, come on. Like, no, it's objectively incorrect.
No, give me some wiggle. You're supposed to give me a year either side.
It's the incorrect year.
Nathan, we have no time for this, all right? What's going on?
What's going on is this Glee, Lawrence. That's what's going on.
Well, it's always time for Glee, Nathan, but who wrote this episode? Who directed this episode?
I don't know.
You didn't write it down this week?
Okay, so it was directed by Eric Stoltz, written by Brad Falkirk.
Good on him.
Yeah, good for them, okay? And I will say, a packed episode in terms of song choices. We've discovered that, often the average sits around about 3 or 4 songs per episode.
Yeah.
But this time, it was packed in there. They were jamming them into this episode, okay?
Yeah.
And maybe as a result of that, not everyone in the cast got to have a good shot in the episode. Like, maybe there were some main characters who were like, oh, what do you think of this major life thing that's happening in your life? And they're just like, they don't have a single line in the episode. So, you know?
Yeah, I think this is very much an episode where they're like, the music is the clear thing, because obviously it's a big thing. You know, we've been leading up to the proposal, the big Will and Emma proposal moment. So, like, obviously they want to make time for that, and obviously to get the Glee kids involved, you've got to be like, as Will always is, it's like, let me fucking offset some of my life responsibilities to children real quick.
We'll get to all of that, trust me. There'll be plenty of times to discuss all of that, as we often do.
Yeah.
All right. I will say, pun not intended. But I will say, good opening. Okay.
Yeah.
Opening off strong with a rendition of Summer Nights. Not just a rendition, but a remake, as it were. Not only that, but I don't know if you know this, shot on in the actual school where Grease was filmed.
Really, was it?
Yeah, like it's this exact same set where Grease was filmed for the open. That's why McKinley High has never looked like this, and never will again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
we have never seen these bleachers. We have never seen this outdoor food court area. Okay.
Yeah,
and we never will again.
Yeah,
it's from the movie Grease. Okay.
Oh my god, that's a fun little tidbit though. That's some extra authenticity. I like this opening number. Right, I've always said this. Right, I think when they do a performance, it's always fun to lean into the performance. Whenever they're just singing in an auditorium, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah, it's just because then it's just a show, isn't it? It's just like I can go down to a theater and see this, but when it leans into the musical aspect of the show,
yes,
that's what I enjoy.
You can't progress the show if they're just standing in an auditorium and it's just various quick cuts of them doing a dramatic performance in the auditorium. You're still just stuck on a stage watching them for like 3 to 4 minutes instead of like actually watching the episode progress. So,
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, what's going on? Who are the where do you want to start with this? This is a messy episode with a lot of stuff to dig into.
Well, Summer Nights. I want to start the opening. Summer Nights.
Well, what do you think about Summer Nights?
I like Summer Nights. You like Grease?
I like Grease. I don't have like a massive like kind of reverence for it like a lot of people do, but I have a good time with Grease.
Kill yourself.
I mean, I like Blaine has a good number. The Beauty School Dropout. That's my favourite Glee song, I think.
But yes, he does. Doesn't have a single line in this episode, but
no,
good on him. Good on him for doing that song at some point. Good for Blaine. Look, I enjoy this a lot. I think it's cheesy, and it's continuing this theme of the Sam and Mercedes romance, which is kind of inexplicable and kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I guess it's here, and we all just have to deal with it. Whether they have any chemistry or not, we kind of just have to go along for the ride, I guess.
Did you like the cross dissolve where like they've zoomed in on her? So she is like enormous compared to his little cross dissolve, and then she kind of looks at him like she's like like a spirit guide in some sort of movie. Did you like that?
Yeah, and do you know when else I liked it?
In Grease?
In the movie Grease, Lawrence, yes. Because they just done in the movie Grease.
It just felt funny.
Yeah, and it felt funny in the movie Grease. All right. Let me acting like it's new. It's a done thing.
I know it's a done thing. I do.
No,
like...
you didn't. No, you didn't.
I did know it was
Grease.
A thing.
You haven't seen Grease.
I've seen Grease. Not recently, but I've seen Grease. Have you seen Grease 2?
Yes, I have seen Grease 2. Michelle Pfeiffer.
I've never seen Grease 2.
Well, don't come for me then. All right?
I won't come. I'm just curious. Is there 3 Greases?
No, there's only 2 Greases.
They should have called it Grithreese if they did it. The third one. I'm sorry for saying Grithreese.
Good, thank you. Okay. Let's move on from whatever that was.
All right. I thought it was a fun little bit, but no.
I didn't.
No. I know, you made it quite clear.
I didn't at all. Anyway, so everyone's got wedding fever. Yeah. Basically. There's wedding fever on the brain. And by everyone, I mean like 2 people who are talking about it, basically.
Yeah.
Which is Coach Beast and Emma in the little teachers lounge thing. They're like, hey, I just fucking got eloped. I got married and shit. And Emma's like, I wish I could get married.
Yeah, if only that could be me.
Yeah.
What do you know about scranning 2 full roast chickens for lunch?
I tell you what, jealous. That's what I know. I wish I could have and enjoy 2 whole delicious roast chickens for my lunch. And just, and I could just pass it off as my protein.
Yeah.
I need to get my protein. It's not because I'm fat and greedy.
I don't want 2 full roast chickens. That's gluttonous, actually.
It's just for my protein, okay?
Yeah, the trouble with that is you always like you've got to kind of prove it with results. So you kind of I've got to get my protein in, and then just pray that no one sees you not exercising later on.
No follow-up questions, thank you.
Yeah, that's just my protein. I need to get in an extreme amount of calories. Thank you very much.
I gotta eat all this chicken, okay?
This is the part where Sue calls Coach Beast Michael Chiklis in a wig.
Oh, okay, that's where that comes from.
Yeah, and I just love it, right? As we say, very often, right? To work on this show must be a very humbling experience. Just imagine being this actor. You get a script come through that describes you as Michael Chiklis in a wig.
It's pretty brutal, yeah. But I feel like just anyone who Sue interacts with is going to get that, and sometimes even Sue herself,
Yeah, true.
I feel like just anyone who isn't Jane Lynch is just fucking up on the chopping block at any time, really. And that's fun,
Once a season or so, they will humble Sue, but it's not often. She doesn't get a comeuppance a lot of the time.
This season she's got that rivalry with the other coach, which which shows up a little bit later, and she's always like, "You're old" or whatever. You're old,
She's always saying you're old. She rinses Sam's tiny nipples immediately. She sees this student and she's like, firstly, you look fucked and you got tiny nipples and you're weird.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's very, very crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I presume you have the song title there, but what did you think about Emma's song about marrying Will or wanting to?
Wedding Bell Blues.
Ooh.
I'll be honest, I can't really remember it.
Okay, all right.
It's easily the most forgettable song of the episode, really.
I think it's just because it's not as popular as the other ones.
Yeah, but I feel like any time Emma's got a song, it's not that memorable, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me see if I can find a rendition of it now.
While you're doing that, right? I kind of like this is the kind of music that Glee does that I enjoy, right? We were talking about it a minute ago with the Glee stuff, but it's almost like it's like a music video where she's the person singing and no one else can see she's singing and she's just going about her life. Will's having a shave and she's popping her head out the shower and she's singing at him. I find it quite cute and quite whimsical and fun.
Oh, I'm remembering this now. This is coming back to me.
You're remembering it because you're watching it.
Yeah, I watched the episode a few days ago, by the way. Okay, but yeah. Oh, Sue and Beast are getting involved as backup singers. Yeah. This is good fun, actually. Yeah. Okay, maybe I take it back. Maybe I quite enjoy this.
This is fun, right? I think this is lovely.
This is quite fun.
Also, you'll notice that so often in Glee, right? Just fucking people will have the most intense rivalries, but if they're in a backup group together, they're best mates.
100. We've said it so many times. Entire plots, arcs, and rivalries and differences that can all be gone in an instant if it's needed for a song. Anything can be dropped at any point if it is needed for a song. Okay, Ryan Murphy. Okay,
yeah.
Look, I don't agree with everything he's ever done and said, but he says the fucking performance comes first, and you know what? I admire that.
Yeah, there's a level of dedication that you don't often get with actually very dramatic, fucking kids at school.
Yeah, exactly. It ends with them, Will and Emma dancing on top of a big wedding cake, which is. It's a bit over the top, but... Yeah,
but production value, they're winning points, aren't they?
It's Emma's fantasy, and I do like that it ends, and Emma is just kind of, in a daze, I guess.
Yeah.
Just, walked across the room and asked Will to marry her, and he's like, what the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You just asked me to marry you? And Emma's like... What? No, cunt. I didn't. What?
You're wrong, and you should marry someone else. Bye.
Yeah, I gotta go. Bye.
I do like that in true Will Schuester fashion, right? He takes this incredibly pivotal life moment. He should probably hunt down his future fiancée-to-be, right?
Yes, probably.
And speak to her. But no, he decides, I'm going to find the room with a bunch of kids in it first.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot to discuss with Will,
as
there
God.
always is. Okay,
yeah,
but
I think that man has never escaped an episode unscathed,
and he never will. Okay, quite frankly, it's why we have a segment at the end of every show where we discuss exactly what Will Schuester has done to win this title as war criminal for this week. Okay, and we'll get to it, but like. yeah, again, just major life thing happens to him. Clearly, he's decided this is the next step for myself and my partner, who I love very dearly. Should I talk to her about it, or a bunch of 15 to 18-year-olds whose ages vary depending on the plot? Okay.
Or I think you meant to say, should I discuss this with a bunch of 34-year-olds cleverly disguised as 15 to 18-year-olds?
Yes, but for purposes of the show, they're children.
Yeah, they are.
Kind of, but sometimes.
It's so funny. He walks in, he's just like, I could make this, a pivotal moment for me and my future wife, or I could walk in and just go, kids, help me propose. Also, never mind the fact that I was just proposed to. Help me do a real proposal.
Yeah, help me do a real proposal so I get the credit for it.
Yeah.
But also, do all the work for me.
Yes, literally.
Look, I need a song, because of course I need to propose to Emma through song, because what else would we do on
Fuck
Glee?
being normal.
Yeah, okay. So I need all of you to come up with a song for me to perform to Emma, all right? Let's get to work, kids. Let's get to work. The audacity of this man,
Will Schuester is forever just he's unloading emotional burdens, he's unloading just labor, just general stuff. If these kids can help with absolutely anything, he'll it doesn't matter what boundaries he needs to cross, he'll cross them.
Yeah,
there
100%,
and then
100%. Becky has a subplot this episode. First of all, her inner monologue is voiced by Helen Mirren, so that's very fun.
That's very good, yeah.
that's a bit of fun. But she's got a little crush on fucking Artie.
This is a fun element to the episode, I think. I like to see Becky, right? Becky's always the sassiest bitch in town. I think Santana calls her in this episode at one point, right?
She called her a horrible bitch or something.
Yeah, which is I guess high praise from coming from Santana, really.
I guess so. Yeah.
Game recognized game, Santana says. But yeah, man, I kind of like this element, and I do like that. It kind of ends with a little heartwarming button from Sue a little bit later on, which we can get to. But yeah, it's kind of fun to see kind of Artie just go from he just experiences ableism 24/7 because he's in a wheelchair and it's Glee.
Yeah.
And then the very next opportunity he gets to be ableist, he's like, reckon I'll just do some ableism myself. And it's come on, mate. Come on a little bit. Maybe just don't lead people on. Maybe don't be an asshole by trying to be this milady kind of sort. I don't know. What do you make of it?
Is he being a milady sort?
Maybe that's strong. He's not being inherently creepy, but I think he's got a bit of a good guy persona in this episode.
I think he's definitely got a bit of a good guy complex about him for this episode, at least. He definitely, he definitely takes the opportunity to sort of.
I'm better than you guys.
Yeah, call out everyone else and to be fair, it is everyone is you can't date Becky. And he's but why?
But what? Yeah. Be specific.
Yeah, be specific. Is there any reason that I cannot date her other than because she has Down syndrome and it looks weird?
Yeah.
Is that the only reason that I cannot date her? And let's be realistic. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
okay?
100%.
That's exactly what everyone's issue is, because people don't quite understand Down syndrome, I guess. People think that, a lot of the time people think that people who have Down syndrome have the mind of a child, which is not true at all. It can be in some cases, but it's not.
It's wrong to assume that's every instance.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
And they know Becky. They know that's not the case.
yeah. Becky is incredibly horny. Okay, we've seen and know how horny Becky gets as a character. Okay, and she can be one of the most brutal characters on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's trying to say some stuff as Glee often does, and does it quite get there? I don't know. Okay.
Glee has a habit of being here I am solving a progressive issue, and in doing so, I have opened up several other offensive things that we're not going to solve this week.
Yes.
And maybe never.
Yes. But good on them for having a go.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's a real honest stab at it, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, good for them for having a character with Down syndrome, I guess. It's not something that often comes up, really.
No, that's true. That's very true. And like I said, I do think there is a nice, as it often is with Sue and Becky's relationship, one of the most wholesome relationships in the whole show.
So beautiful, such a beautiful relationship.
Yeah. It's lovely, and how it ends the episode with Sue essentially just being like, Artie, you're not a great guy, man. Like, stop pretending to be this holier-than-thou guy. You're leading her on. Yeah. Don't be a prick.
Yeah.
And to be fair, to his credit, Artie does take it on board. So
he does, yeah. And quite a little bit brutal at the end, really. A little bit heartbreaking at the end where Becky's like, oh, you don't want to date me because I'm fucking too hot for you or whatever. I'm just too hot. You can't handle all this or whatever. And he's like, yeah, sure, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to like save face and stuff. And Becky's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then as she goes off, you hear like it's really the case that she knows this because she has Down syndrome, which is just, it's heartbreaking.
What a sad, like, especially like voiced by Helen Mirren as well, like one of the classiest vocal performers out there. Yeah. I tell you what though, just like to round up Becky and Artie stuff, I find it very fun lore that we're now discovering Becky has an internal monologue of the Queen of England.
I mean, yeah, it's who else would you get?
Yeah,
was Helen Mirren the Queen of England?
No, she said there's one point where she's like, and I bet you're wondering why I sound like the Queen of England. It's because I can do whatever I want because it's my mind or whatever.
Oh, okay, right. I see.
You don't think Helen Mirren's styling a Queen Elizabeth?
Not really. No. Helen Mirren and the Queen of England, Queen's voice is quite different to Helen Mirren. Queen's is quite, hello, one would suggest that it's not, the Duke of Cambridge and I are very proud to have received here today.
But what you're failing to consider is that this is an American show where they assume every English voice. My husband and I, Doctor
Who, are very glad to be here today at this reception.
We know you've seen The Crown.
My husband, Doctor Who.
My
husband is Doctor Who, and we're very glad to be here today at this reception.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, Sam gets slushied, Nathan. Sam gets hit with a slushie.
He's going up to Mercedes and like, hey girl, you want all of this? And she's like, fuck you. But she's not really. She's like, maybe. But then
Mercedes' dad interrupts them.
Their dad.
He's 38 years old,
They're all 38 years old.
Yeah, but this guy is noticeably 38. Like, bro has a shaved head because he's got a receding hairline. Like, let's get real.
Yeah, look, they're all old, but yeah, Sam gets slushy. Does he get slushy because he's on the swimming team now? He's on the synchronized swimming team.
Yeah, because he wants a Letterman jacket by any means necessary, and I guess he goes and gets one. He does use his nickname Trouty Mouth as like a sea-based pun or something, which is quite fun.
Oh, that's pretty fun. Yeah.
Multi-useful.
Yeah. Look. Whatever.
Who cares about Sam in this fucking episode?
I don't mind Sam, but like, whatever. To me, the whole arc of the whole swim team thing exists purely so they can have the performance at the end. If we're being honest,
yes,
really.
It does.
That's why this whole thing exists. Okay?
Which, by the way, we'll get to it. It's a bad performance.
Well, no, we will get to it. Okay.
All right. Before we get to that, again, would you regale us with the next musical number, which is the Maroon 5 Jumping Jack Flash mashup?
Okay. Well, what? You know what? Yes, I will. Let me bring it up. Okay, hold on.
I always like it when you play them because we get to have we get to relive it just that little bit longer.
So it starts, and they're like, "Hey, you want to propose to Emma? You got sexy hips, Will. You can show her those moves like Jagger, and a very subtle lead-in way that Glee always does.
Well, of course,
yeah." And he's like, oh, this is just moves like Jagger. I know this song. We all know Maroon's 5. Is it Maroon 5?
Yes, Maroon 5, yeah.
Maroon 5's moves like Jagger. And you're like, yeah, this is just moves like Jagger.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the chorus, and for some reason, they just add in the Jumping Jack Flash bit. I'm like, oh, so it's a mashup? Kind of?
But not really, though.
But not really. It is just moves like Jagger Jagger, but then just a little bit of that in the chorus.
I mean, like as a mashup, they work together. Musically, they do work.
Kind of.
It's just thematically, why are we doing this? Is my issue with it, really.
There you are again.
Yeah, great.
It's back to moves like Jagger.
Oh man, you couldn't escape moves like Jagger back in the day. You ever bumping this in the club?
I was, yeah when you was 14, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's horrible, Cannon. I hate to think that you were out clubbing when I was 14 years old.
What is Jumpin' Jack Flash? Is that Queen?
Jumpin' Jack. I have no idea.
Or am I just thinking of Flash Gordon? Because that's Queen, isn't it?
That's Flash Gordon. That's Queen. Yeah, sorry.
That is Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon
yeah.
is certainly Flash Gordon.
Oh, Jumpin' Jack Flash is the Rolling Stones, which I guess makes sense because Mick Jagger. Rolling Stones.
We're finding it. We're finding the connective tissue.
You didn't know Mick Jagger was from the Rolling Stones.
I didn't. Fuck you. I knew Mick Jagger. Yeah.
You didn't know. I can see the look on your face.
I can't tell you a single other name of anyone else in the Rolling Stones, but Mick Jagger's the most famous fucking member of the Rolling Stones by a country mile.
I also couldn't tell you another name of anyone of the Rolling Stones, but...
My dad calls the Rolling Stones the Strolling Bones because they're so old. And I think some of them are dead now.
Maybe all of them. Yeah.
Well, except Mick Jagger, who I think is still alive. To be honest, I don't know.
Not funny! That's him, isn't it?
Is that what he says?
Yeah, it's from a John Mulaney bit.
Good.
Yeah. Not funny!
What do you make of this performance? This Moves Like Jagger and Jumping Jack Flash montage or mashup?
First of all, any performance where you have Will Schuester trying to be sexy... Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight there.
Jail. Straight to jail. Okay. Like, no, stop it. Kill yourself. Okay.
And you're surrounded by children, my friend.
I know. You'd think he'd learn his lesson, but he never does.
No, because he never gets any consequences, ever.
No, he doesn't. It's true.
He might break the law every episode, by the way.
He is the villain of the show. Yeah. He really is the worst character ever. Look, it's fine, I guess. It's not my favorite number from the episode, but Moves Like Jagger is catchy, I guess.
That
like
Gleek
it may not
skates out like this so often, man.
Yeah.
A catchy songs can so often save them from just a dead number.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Did you like that he's alternating t-shirts and V-necks 24/7 in this number, Will Schuester?
What is he? Does he alternate many different V-necks?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Whenever he's like with Artie and Mike, he's like wearing a t-shirt, and then like when it cuts to those slow-mo shots, like those kind of hero shots of him jumping in a nice dancey way, right?
Yeah.
He's often wearing a little scarf, and he's just swapped out his t-shirt for a vest.
Oh, okay.
I guess to flash the muscles, I guess.
I guess, maybe.
Just another one of his horrendous little fucking war crimes, I think. Not to show
something else. Yeah, just something else he deserves to go to jail for. But yeah.
Well, speaking of stuff he deserves to go to jail for, obviously Will Schuester, an integral part, I think, of the lead up to a wedding. And of course, before you even pop the question, Nathan, you got to lock this one in. Who winds up being Mr. Shoe's best man?
Okay. Spoiler alert, it's Finn. All right.
Yeah.
But I watched this whole scene unfold with my head in my hands. Just what the fuck what are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Do you not have any friends your own age, you inappropriate creep? Okay, what is going on? Where you want your best man to be a little boy? I know he's not a little boy; he's like 40 or whatever.
Yeah, but a little boy.
For the purposes of the show, okay. A little boy who's maybe not even 18. Okay, and is like fucking and sings in your little club. This is who you want to be your best man.
Well, of course. Well, he's taught him so much about being a man, Nathan.
Jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Throw away the key. Insane. And like, not even to mention just the levels of like an how much of an inappropriate relationship that is for a teacher and a student to have as well, okay? Yeah. Like, if you were actually a teacher and you were like, hey, I'm going to ask this student to be my best man whilst they're still your student.
Yeah.
No, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired. What are you doing?
Immediately. I like that before he even asks Finn to be his best man, he's already breached his fucking, like, role as a teacher. He's already abused his kind of power dynamic with him because he's just out with him. He's just out ring shopping with him. And also Finn, the docile fucking idiot, is like, what could we be doing here? What's this all about?
He's taking him away from the school premises.
Yeah.
To presumably in his own vehicle, okay, to go downtown to pick out jewelry, okay. The optics on this aren't great. Really.
No, they're really not.
Yeah, like
when a lawyer would lay out these facts, there isn't a jury on earth that wouldn't convict him as being an inappropriate man. And
they should convict him. Yes. Okay, they should. Insane.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. That takes us to one of my as kind of as you alluded to earlier, right? With Artie's, you know, you've got moves like Jagger. One of my favourite ones, right? Maybe ever, to be honest. Is Rachel and some of the girls sit Will down, right?
Yes.
And they go, Will, we're trying to nail this.
One of the few things Rachel has to do in this episode.
Yeah, because like I guess fuck giving your lead character some plot.
Yeah.
But I do like that Rachel sits him down and goes, tell me about you and Emma. What was it like the first time that you met? And Will says, I'll never forget the first time I saw her face. And Rachel goes, all right, bet. The first time?
Yes. Tell us the story. I'll never forget it. Great. That's all I need.
Yeah. Oh, you nailed it with the first line. When you hit, you hit.
This is quite a nice performance, though. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's all bullshit, but it's like it's going through like the first time all these people saw, you know, the various dudes and girls that they love and crush on or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's sweet.
It's nice. This is what Glee does. This is a trademark. We fucking say it. Like, at least, I would say maybe, if not every week, at least every other week, right?
Probably.
Yeah, you get an instance where Glee hasn't got the time to give every character a plot or something to do. So they go like, Santana and Brittany have got fuck all to do this episode. Let's get them in this song.
Nothing, yeah.
But let's get them in this song so that they can look lovingly at one another. Just so we can remind the audience that they're kind of, you know.
I don't think Brittany, Kurt, Blaine, and maybe Tina have a single line in this episode outside of songs.
I think Santana does because she rinses Rachel.
I didn't say Santana.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yes, because Santana is also, you know, she has that line about Becky as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I said Brittany, Kurt, Blaine, and Tina.
But this is kind of the box you put yourself in when you write an ensemble show. Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of them are going to get left by the wayside, but I guess the answer to that question is just stop writing in so many fucking characters. Right?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
And as we've spoken about, they wrote in more, man. Like fucking, as we know...
They can't stop.
No, but like Rory and... who's that
Little
fucking
Irish
girl?
Rory.
Yeah, Rory and Sugar. They're like competition winners, aren't they? Like, so they just put
Rory
them in.
is. Rory, I don't know if Sugar is.
I think Sugar. I think she was also on that, like... I don't know how Glee is this or whatever show where they
the Glee project.
That was it.
Glee project. No, because there was Sugar, because Sugar was in the season earlier, as we remember, but then she was like shit at singing, and then they were like, hey, you can't join this Glee club because you're bad or whatever. Maybe she was good at singing and they went, let's make it funny where you have to be shit at singing or something. There was also like no resolution to that. It's just like one day she's just can sing now as well.
But like she's always in the background, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but like weirdly she's never like out of time or out of sync or out of anything with the other girls.
Like the whole thing that was a plot point of how horrible of a singer she was has just never come up again.
Yeah, no, they don't resolve it at all. It's just one day she can sing and just, you know, good on her, I guess. Good for her for joining the girls.
Why not? And while all this like performance thing is going on, Mercedes, in her, you think like, oh, she's gonna see her dad's boyfriend or whatever, but actually it's Sam. She's like, oh, I love Sam, maybe.
Yeah.
And great, that's another Add that to the list of fucking ongoing romances, I guess.
Yeah.
Another one to keep track of.
In the Glee soup of the ancestral Glee soup.
Yes. Another romance I kind of have to pretend to give a shit about, okay? Which one's crushing on which one this week? Oh, yeah.
Week in, week out, writing on notes like, "Car, I care about this."
Oh, Ryan, what are you doing to me? Anyway, whilst all of this bullshit is happening, and whilst, Will is completely ignoring his girlfriend who just proposed to him and then is probably freaking out alone.
Yeah.
He goes and sees her parents, okay?
Yeah.
And nice to see why Emma is just completely the way she is,
Yeah.
What a just immediately like, oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, you two are fucking horrible, aren't you? You two are two of the worst people, and it takes a lot to be in a room with Will Schuester.
Yeah.
Okay, and for me to call you the worst people there are,
Yeah, it'd be amazing that Will Schuester can walk into a room with two other people in it and still somehow be the most reasonable person there.
Yeah.
Really, really doesn't happen a lot, but yeah, it is nice to see kind of like. Yeah, you get it immediately. Emma's parents don't even have to say more than like a sentence each, and you're like, "Oh, you guys fucking suck. You're big time terrible shit."
They're horrible. They're just straight up bad people. You know?
Yeah.
And like, so Will asks for their blessing to propose to Emma, and they're like, "No, no," because she has OCD.
But this is the thing, right? That's terrible, right? But then it's worse. Then it's not out of like love for their daughter, like this man isn't good enough for her or whatever. And look, he's not. He's not.
No,
he's
right. 100%. She deserves so much better than this guy. Okay.
Frankly, with the dad, good instincts, bad reasoning.
Yes.
But it goes from like it's not just like. She's got OCD. She's not fit for the marriage life, which, okay, sure. All right, fine, whatever. That's its own thing. But then he's like, you don't want that son, do you?
Yeah. And the worst thing is, they somehow convince him, okay?
Right?
The worst thing is, they somehow convince him, because then Will and Emma have a scene together where they're talking about it, and it seems like Will has completely changed his mind, and he just... jail many times.
Yes.
I've said it. Okay, yeah. Jail. Electric chair. Okay, the
death penalty.
Emotional abuse. Okay, that he puts this woman under. A woman he claims to love. A woman he knows has OCD. Lawrence, what does OCD stand for?
Obsessive compulsive disorder, Nathan.
Obsessive compulsive disorder. Okay, you think you can just casually drop to the woman you love and the woman you know wants to marry you that, hey, I don't think you're going to be a good wife, and I think we're going to be horrible together, and because of your issues, because of your problem, even calling it a disease to her face, even saying, because of your disease, I don't think we should get... Brother, what the fuck are you doing?
Look, as I often do.
And then just leaving her to stew in that for probably days?
Yes,
Jail, chair, killed, death.
Dead, immediately dead,
Immediate death.
It's the thing that irked me about it is like, look, there's some like, I don't know, I don't want to speak out of turn, right? But like, babies and stuff, they'll be messy, right? That will be something, that will be a conversation that needs to be had at some point down the line, right?
Yes.
But my issue with fucking war criminal Will Schuester is not the fact that he's like, oh, let's talk about it. It's more the fact that he's like, well, your disease is crippling and this is hopeless. It's not like, hey, let's have a really honest chat with one another. Let's see what we can do. What am I failing you with? What can I do better? What do you need from me? I'll put that in motion and we'll see where we go. But let's
maybe help out, brother.
Yeah.
Maybe you can take some of the responsibility with a kid,
Clean the fucking house. Stop spending all your time with 15-year-olds.
Yeah. Get a fucking grip of your life, man. Stop singing your little songs for one, all right?
Maybe you can tell Emma that when like, not if, but when the baby, right, becomes messy, right?
Yes.
That, she can maybe work to push her boundaries, but he can take on more of the workload and say, like, I'll deal with the messes, you deal with the other stuff. The nice, clean stuff that is often associated with babies as well.
Is there any clean stuff associated with babies?
Yeah, all their clothes have to be like fucking sparkling. You got to wash your hands every 5 minutes, like handling them and everything else. There's some clean stuff.
She'll love that.
Yes, washing her hands. Will's like, go and wash your hands again for the 8th time.
She'll have a great time.
She will.
Oh, anyway, yeah. Horrible bloke.
Yeah.
Horrible person. That whole thing. And again, yeah, just leaving it to stew on that for like fucking presumably days whilst the Glee Club rehearse and put together this whole fucking proposal scene. Okay.
Oh my God, I'd have said no. If I was Emma, I'd have said no so hard.
I'd have shot him in the face.
Yeah, okay. I'd drowned him in that fucking pool.
I'd have pulled out a gun and shot him in the face. Okay. What other song is there? There's Without You. Okay.
Oh yeah.
A lovely David Guetta number. Okay. Wait, is David Guetta the dead one?
Yeah, he's the dead one. Yeah.
Is he dead?
Unless that's Avicii. I don't think it's Avicii though.
David Guetta is not dead.
Who's dead then? One of them's a dead one, and there was a whole theory about how he was going to expose paedophiles or something.
Avicii's dead.
Avicii's dead. Oh damn.
Yeah. Avicii's dead.
Oh man. R.I.P. Avicii.
Died 2018. Age 28. Fucking hell.
Fuck man. I'm 28.
He was young. Yeah.
I want to die like Avicii.
Anyway, rest in peace to Avicii, I guess. But yes, yeah. David Guetta, Without You, not the Eminem song. It's actually a David Guetta song.
So which one's this one? What performance is this? Is this
This is where Rachel is like, hey, I want to sing a song. Oh, because my boyfriend's joining the army or whatever. Oh. Because he's a fucking idiot.
Right, before Without You, right, we need to talk about that moment where Phil's like, my dad's the greatest.
Sorry. I put into YouTube, I put in David Guetta, and you know how in auto fills what you've previously searched for. The first thing that comes up is David Guetta ends racism.
Oh, that's the best video.
Is in honor of George Floyd.
Oh man.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
I think it's edited. Okay.
It is, but the real one ain't better. Like,
but that's fucking hilarious. Even the fucking MLK I Have a Dream
just before the drop, yeah.
Oh my god.
Right. Do you like the scene where because Phil Finn that was me mixing Will and Finn to Phil. When Mr. Shear is asking Finn to be his best man, Finn's like, that's great, man, also I'm going to join the army, and he's like, oh, now I have a duty of care that's important to me, so I guess I'll act on this.
Yes.
So he calls Kurt's dad
Big Bert.
Yeah, Big Bert, yeah.
Bert and Kurt, well, not Kurt. Again, Kurt has nothing to do with this episode. Maybe Kurt should have been present for this scene.
Yeah.
But all right.
Makes sense, wouldn't it, I think?
Yeah, Bert, who's going to be a congressman, everyone's favourite plotline.
Yeah.
He gets called in to, like, say, hey, you're an idiot, maybe you shouldn't do this, or whatever.
Yeah, and Finn's like, but my dad's a war hero. My dad's the best guy that ever lived. He died a hero's death, and your mum's like, he was a crack addict and a loser. Damning.
Big revelation for Finn.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, I will say. Yeah. Like, thinking your dad died a war hero and he was dishonorably discharged and a drug addict. I tell you what. Difficult choice from the mum. I'm not going to sit here and be like, how could she do this? Because I get it, I think if you have a kid who worships, their dad and fucking looks up to something like that, and they died in this horrible way, it can be, I'd imagine it can be so difficult to have to, like, tell them. And
you don't want to shatter their worldview, like...
Exactly, yeah. I can see where she's come from. Incredibly difficult position she was put in, okay. I do like... what was it she said?
The line about the last few months of his life were not...
Yes, yes. That the last few months weren't who he was.
He was so much more than the last few months of his life.
That's it. Yeah, he was so much more than the last few months of his life. He was so much better than that. I think that's like quite an actually beautiful line, really. So, yeah. Yeah,
mate, like the lie, I can get it. I can see it, especially for a show like this. Like you're squeezing every ounce of drama, and Finn's walked around like his dad was the fucking like a war hero. He literally calls him that in this episode, right? Right. My issue with the parenting here kind of comes in at the play where she's like, "Hey, my son idolizes his dead dad, right? He wants to be just like him." He has like Finn's always had this kind of like complex around his own masculinity, and it stems from the fact that he never knew his father, right? Yeah. And I just think it's crazy to bombard Finn with a truth bomb like this in front of his fucking teachers in an intervention setting. That's a sit down with your mum privately conversation. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's probably not the best place to reveal that little tidbit. That should have been something that was, let's take him home, let's have a conversation. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Let's not do this here.
Let's find a way to break this easy, as opposed to just cracking it like a fucking egg.
And also, Bert being like, "Hey, you can't join the army. I need someone to run my business."
Yeah, fuck your business.
Right, hire someone then. Yeah, all right. Fucking hire someone then. That's not my issue, mate.
Congressman Bert's having a fucking field day trying to figure out some unpaid labour laws or whatever.
Oh, you know.
Fuck me, man. Yeah.
Anyway, good on Bert.
Yeah. So that's why then. Fucking. It leads Finn to be like, "I wish someone in my life was important to me and special." And Rachel's like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah, and then Glee remembers that Rachel as a character exists. And he's like, "Hey, let me sing this song." That's pretty good, I guess.
What do you think of this song?
It's quite a... This is a slowed down rendition of it, isn't it? I feel like it's quite a more upbeat one, usually. Yeah. Like a certified club classic.
Yeah, normally there's a beat that kicks in.
Yeah. Without... Where's David Guetta? You know? Exactly. This man ended racism.
Exactly. Okay. Put some respect on his name.
we know what he's capable of. Okay. I like it though. I think it's a nice rendition. You know, Lea Michele always does a great performance. She always looks like she's crying in every song she does. But hey, she has a good go. She's got a great voice. She's a lead for a reason. You know.
I agree. I think I'm over it with Rachel though.
Yeah, I mean it's been a lot, hasn't it?
It's a lot of this is my thing.
It is. It's a lot of. One chair in a room, the rest of the Glee Club looking on solemnly while she sings a song and has a little cry to herself.
Mate, you get a versatile king like Blaine, right? That man can rock any fucking song you show him, right?
Mercedes,
also. Yeah, exactly. Mercedes can belt out a soulful ballad, and she can also just fucking absolutely bring the house down with a club classic, right? Mercedes is sick. Rachel is, like we just said, a lot of this. Just a lot of this. A bit of a one-trick pony, I think, at times.
I was watching Glee.
I know. Sorry. I don't know why. I thought you would have got enough of that by now, but yeah.
The episode doesn't end, but it kind of ends. It doesn't end, but it goes towards this big performance, this final. He's gonna do the proposal. He's changed his mind again, and now he's like, "Hey, look, we're gonna do it in a pool."
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible decision, first of all. Famously, the worst place for acoustics ever. Okay.
Mate, that, and also, man, I'm sure someone with high-functioning fucking OCD just loves to be in a grotty fucking teenager swimming pool.
Yeah, they would absolutely fucking love that. Yeah.
That gets cleaned once a month, and there's water splashing everywhere. He's sopping wet and, like, holding her face. I'm like... Now, this is where the show forgets that she has OCD, because if she did, she would have fucking pushed him back and pelted a mile off.
I'm sure there's, like, a version of it with, like, how it would actually sound, you know?
Oh, really? That's amazing.
With, like, realistic audio. No one's mic'd up, but they never are, to be fair.
No,
but, like,
we can't start picking this now.
Horrible. Even, like, there's no speakers anywhere. Even if there were, famously, just the worst place to play music is a swimming pool. Yeah. Just absolutely horrible. Yeah. It would sound like shit.
Also, not to mention the fact that they're, like, someone will be mid like beautiful note or whatever, and there'd just be a million splashes and sloshies. Like,
100%, and then they get dunked underwater.
Yeah, exactly.
And like they just stop singing. You know,
I just can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, the real crime of this performance, okay, is that it all kind of culminates with, you know, everyone doing this big synchronized swimming thing. Again, the only reason this team exists is for this performance. But it culminates with Will showing up in an all-white suit, okay, as he literally walks on water, implying that he is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm amazed you weren't saving this for the segment, but go for it.
I mean, it all goes in. All right, it's all going in, but jail is not enough. All right.
Well, you gave him death last time, so what's worse than death?
Death is not enough. Okay. Purgatory. There needs to be something else. Okay. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, man. Look, this is rough. It's such a fucking overly like. Firstly, a proposal like this in itself, they're always inherently gimmicky and dumb, right?
Yes.
But then also, right, again, the kids did all the work, brother. You're not in the song.
You disappear for most of it.
Yeah.
You're putting on that horrible suit.
Yeah,
okay?
And you look like a twat in it as well.
You're like a dickhead. Of course you're wearing a fucking top hat. Of course you are. Because that's the kind of cunt that you are, mate.
Just this self-aggrandizing, just fucking moron, right?
Oh, God.
He's got such a complex on it. I've decided that you will be okay to be my wife, actually. I've decided that I will accept your proposal, but your proposal was bad and boring, so my good one is here if you want to say yes to that.
And I'm Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm Jesus.
And I'm Jesus. I'm literally fucking Jesus. Look at me. I'm wearing an all-white suit and I just walked on water. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I just swam through this gross pool and now I'm touching your face. Good thing you don't have any debilitating issues that would take, you know, any kind of fucking umbrage with this.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you're so. Yeah, I don't mind doing this to you in what many couples describe as the moment of their biggest joy, their biggest happiness. Right. I'll just totally ruin that by not taking into account the fact that you have a condition that should be treated with care and respect.
Oh. You proposed to your wife like this?
Yeah, I did, with the walk on water stuff as well. In fact, I did this exact number. I just found like 10 kids.
And that's why she said no.
Yeah, and then I found my real wife. That was years ago.
Oh, no. What law we have unlocked today.
But yeah, man. So this is... we spoke about the Artie and Becky stuff earlier, but the episode, it does kind of wrap up with, this and another scene, but... it just a lovely sweet moment of Sue and Becky just catching some telly, man. Just lovely holding hands with one another, sharing a moment. Just like, I'll treat you like a fucking human being. Yeah.
Having some ice cream, just enjoying their time together. Yeah, always like a Becky and Sue moment. That's after the horribleness that is whatever the fuck we just watched with Will, you know. It's nice to get a little moment.
It's funny to see a god complex, and then Sue, commonly referred to as the biggest antagonist of the show, just being the most amazing human being.
Maturing is realizing that Sue was right all along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frankly, they get too much.
Yeah.
And her Cheerios
she can be a
are better.
little mean sometimes. Okay. But honestly, she was right the whole time.
Yeah, I don't agree with all the ableism and the racist stuff. That she rocks out. I think earlier Becky as well said that she couldn't be Mike Chang's Rice Queen.
Oh yeah, she did say that.
And
that was a little. Or did Helen Mirren say that?
Well, Helen Mirren said it, but Becky.
Yeah. It's a little much, quite frankly.
Yeah. Sue does also tell Artie to take off his racing gloves as well.
Which I think is fair. I think that's a fair criticism.
It's a wheelchair. Burns.
It's a wheelchair, not a Porsche.
Yeah, but you get burns, don't you?
You wouldn't get burns, all right? You can move a fucking tyre along.
Right.
All right?
You could. If you're Artie and you're dancing, going back and forth constantly, you could get burns. Stopping yourself quickly in a dance routine, you would get burns.
Stop dancing then.
Yeah, don't have something you enjoy.
Yeah, stop it.
The real ending of the episode is Finn proposes. Another proposal was secretly on the cards this whole time.
A twist proposal, the real proposal of the episode.
Yeah.
You actually thinking it was just this horrible one.
It's like, shut your fucking mouth. I'm proposing.
Shut up. I remember you exist. Horrible. Stupid. I remember being... I remember that couple in my high school who proposed and we were engaged, and you were like, you're like 15. What the fuck are you doing, you idiots?
Grow up.
You fucking idiots.
Literally grow up.
Oh, no, grow down, all right? You're 15, okay? Stop it.
Yeah, I quite like this, right? Because again, the hypocrisy is always there, and I genuinely believe that different writers write different scenes for these episodes sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Because while Finn was getting the ring with Mr. Shu, right, he's like, I always zone out when girls are speaking about this kind of lame wedding shit, right?
Yeah.
And then in this scene, he's like, here's the most perfect love speech you've ever heard in your entire life.
Yeah.
It's like, do you zone out? Because you seem to have hit all the notes of what you're expected to say.
I mean, the plot happens in whatever fucking way it needs to.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, just because Finn said something earlier which entirely disproves this, okay, it doesn't mean we have to take that into account. Okay.
Oh yeah, seriously.
That's completely fine. Yeah.
I shouldn't listen to what the main characters say in this show.
Exactly. You're the problem.
Yes. So yeah, Finn proposes. I cannot wait to see what he says. Or what Rachel says.
And that's where it ends. So I guess we'll find out next week. And what a week it will be, I guess. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see next week. All right. It is time to figure out, what does Will deserve to be locked up for this week. Every fucking week we're going to keep a track, as we always do, of the many crimes that he has committed. So this week, what are we putting down on the spreadsheet? So best man?
Yeah, best man. Well, that's horrendous in itself, so that goes down.
Best man, getting the kids to do his emotional labour for him.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Gaslighting Emma big time.
Gaslighting and calling her a disease to her face or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the proposal itself.
The proposal itself, I would also like to add in a sub-caveat of the proposal, which is that Will has crossed many ethical boundaries, right? He's no stranger to a minefield.
Okay, I don't know if I have room for this on my spreadsheet, but I'm gonna... How can I add in a subcategory? Is this...
Just do one, like a little notch after the fact.
Okay,
or you can just add it for a separate reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add in a separate fucking... You're throwing in my whole spreadsheet into fucking wacky, Lawrence.
I'm sorry.
Don't be adding in new fucking... Don't be adding in new fucking features and shit to my spreadsheet, okay?
Well, I thought you wanted to keep a track of every single thing that this terrifying man does.
Yes, but like within reason, okay? Within the parameters we've set up, we can keep a track of all his crimes.
Yeah.
But you can't be adding on sub-crimes to crimes, okay? I don't have an option for this.
The end goal of this podcast is to walk up to a judge with a rap sheet that's fucking long as my arm and go, lock him up. Lock up Matthew Morrison for this.
He deserves it. Anyway,
he does. Anyway, yeah, the sub addition to his proposal is that
which is just again, this is just going to be a new entry. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, he choreographed the routine to propose to his I guess now fiance. Choreographed the routine to propose to his now fiance that involved a kid in a wheelchair rolling face first into a swimming pool.
Yeah. Fair enough. That is fair enough. Okay.
Just add a lot of faith being put in other students there, I think.
Yeah. And probably too much faith, especially with these kids. You know they're not that smart.
Yeah.
All right, sick. So we got 5 entries there. We'll add that to the spreadsheet. As always, you can check out the link to the spreadsheet in the description, or you can see updates on our Instagram at 2SlushyBoys.
Hell yeah.
But there we go. Let's check out what you have to say. It's time to check out the Gleek of the Week. This week we have Samantha from Seattle in Washington, who says, "Hey fellas, recently discovered the show and have been loving every second of it. I was obsessed with Glee as a teen, and now as a millennial woman in her 30s, I'm truly horrified going back and revisiting this wild show I love so much. I never once thought of Will as weird or creepy back in the day, but thanks to you guys and your consistent consistent beratement of him, I can't see him as anything less than a war criminal now. Thank you for opening my eyes and showing me the truth. Keep up the great work. Love, Samantha.
The culture is learning, Nathan. We've had a good impact.
If this show does anything, okay, it will be to convince the world, okay, of the many crimes of Will Schuester, okay? If that is the only thing we achieve, then I can rest easy at night.
We've done our jobs.
Yeah, frankly. But that's great. Thank you very much, Samantha. Thank you for getting in touch. Appreciate it.
Yep.
If you want to be our Gleek of the Week, get in touch by sending an email over to gleekoftheweek@anotherhappystudios.com, and we'll check that out and see what we get next episode. But I think that's pretty much it.
That's it, Nathan. And as everyone knows, they can check out what's going on next week. 10 a.m. Tuesdays, we'll be there. You'll be square. See you next week.
See you next week.